with the city mission. We thank you for being with us this morning as we discuss this project and also the program itself. I'd like to start by calling this meeting to order. I'm Jeff Catula, chairman of the committee, and I'll do a roll call of committee members present this morning. I'll call you as you call your name out. Please indicate if you're present. Senator Bartolotta.
She's muted. Just muted.
Yeah. Senator Bartolotta.
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry, I couldn't switch over to that. I'm here. Can you hear me?
No problem. Good morning. Good
morning.
Thank you. Jamie Kalechi. Amy Gatz.
Here.
Good morning. Mayor Kudzik. Representative O'Neill. Anna Petrus.
Here.
Good morning, Adam. Daryl Price.
Here.
Good morning. John Timney.
Here.
Good morning, John. Rachel Warner-Welsh.
Here.
Good morning. And of course, myself. We have 7 of the committee members. We have a quorum. The purpose of today's meeting is to review, as requested by the Washington County Board of Commissioners, the City Missions Project, which is for a 50-bed women's homeless shelter proposed for the city of Washington. For a little background, the Washington County Local Share Account Review Committee meets yearly. This year, we had 94 proposals that were presented to us in October. The committee studied those proposals, had public meetings in January with all the participants that applied. And then on February 6th, we recommended 50 projects to the Washington County Board of Commissioners for funding. The commissioners unanimously accepted those 50 recommendations. The city mission was one of 44 projects that were not recommended for funding. And today we're going to be talking about why they were not recommended for funding. Before I start, I would like to address a situation that we have been getting media reports in the community that there were several lists of our recommendations floating around the community. One, of course, that the city mission may have seen. We want to let you and the public know, of course, that the committee works off of numerous documents. We work off of numerous publications and also preliminary lists. However, the only list that matters is the list that we present in public to the Washington County Board of Commissioners, which we did on February 6th, recommending those 50 projects. So today, though, we wanted to make sure in full transparency that we meet with the city mission and welcome their CEO, Diana Irie Vaughn, to join us so she can answer some of our questions to the concerns the committee had and to why it was not recommended for funding. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning.
How are you?
If it's okay with you, I'd like to introduce everyone else who's in the room.
You beat me to it. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Dean Gartland is now our president emeritus. Stanley Mounts, which I know you're all familiar with, our chief development officer. Marie Trossman, executive assistant. Brian Kengor, board member. Walt Turner, board member. And I will tell you that Brian is the co-chair of the construction committee. Leah Dietrich, who is responsible for all programming here at the mission, and Denny Kennedy, who is the CFO. So that's who is around the table here.
Good morning. And
Good morning.
Probably one of numerous to thank you, Dean, for all your service to the community over the years. President Emeritus, that sounds like a big title, but probably no pay, I'm certain. So to start, we'd like to turn your attention to your application, which is P25, and to talk about really 2 items that the committee had some uncertainty about. The first was, of course, the security of the match for the program. And the second would be the compliance with the Washington County's comprehensive plan. I will take the first set of questions with the matching requirements, and then Daryl Price from our committee will talk about the comprehensive plan after we're finished. So I'd like to turn your attention, of course, to the first page where you are requesting $500,000 with a total other funds of roughly $4.7 million for a total project cost of $5.2 million project. So the first thing the committee had uncertainty about was that on the original page of the application, you did not check if this funding was secure. It was left blank. And I really, to be honest, don't want to delve on that too much outside of the fact that that caused the committee some uncertainty. That could have been just an oversight. We don't think that was intentional. But as you can know, as secure funds is a requirement of the program, it did cause some attention to it. So we'll go by that one, just assume, of course, that that might have been an oversight. However,
Okay.
go ahead.
Right now, total cash on hand for the project is 4.1 million, with just shy of another 700,000, 698,991 of firm pledges that will be here, written pledges for a total of 4.896216. So that is what we have so far. We do have other verbal outstanding pledges, which takes us up to just around 5.1 million.
Okay.
In addition, we also have some outstanding grant submissions that we're still waiting to hear from. And any gap funding for the project, we've already received word from Washington Financial that they will grant again a bridge loan to Washington City Mission.
Okay.
So the funding is very secure. And this was raised, it started in January of 2023, this capital campaign. So City Mission has raised a great deal of money in just a short period of time for the project.
Okay.
And can I just mention to you, Jeff, you did the roll call, but we have Representative O'Neill and Jamie Colecci have also joined. I didn't know if you saw, I want to make sure.
Good morning.
And also Mayor Mike Kuchik from Finleyville is with me as well. Sorry for, I clicked the wrong link, sorry.
Oh, that's quite all right. We appreciate all of your time this morning as we go through this project. And again, we have a full participation from the committee this morning. Thank you all for joining us. And I guess, Diana, that's where we had some of the issues with, was that, as you know, from your experience being a county commissioner, we want to make sure that the funding's secure. If it's not secure, then of course we can't start the project. And with a project of this size of $500,000, it's rather substantial. So the questions we had is pledges versus actual cash in hand. And if you could speak to that a little bit, you mentioned that they are pledges, they are written or verbal. However, the committee's thoughts were they were not actually in the bank, so to speak. So
right now, in the bank.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you. Can you?
Yeah, in the bank.
Good.
$4,197,225.
Okay. And
that's in the bank right now.
Okay. And then you guys also use
interest.
The mission also used, or was applying for, I should say, a $750,000 loan from the Federal Home Loan Bank, I believe. And I believe you were going to be applying for that in March. Again, that was another concern, that when the application was put in, those monies were not applied for yet. So can you please give us the status on those?
Yes, we have not applied for that loan. We did not apply for it last year. We plan on applying for it this year. Goes in August 1st, and we would hear a decision on December 15th.
Okay. Is that part of your match?
No, it is not.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yes.
Has the final question I have for you, unless there's none other from the committee, is the project time frame. Can you give us an idea? We're not going to hold you to this, but somewhat of an idea of breaking ground when you're going to be ready to go.
We plan to break ground mid-May. We estimate 13, 14 months before completion.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, we can have Brian is working alongside of Mercedes Construction. We have signed one initial contract, but the final contract we expect to sign in the next few weeks.
And how about in terms of contingency? I know a lot of construction projects, of course, are seeing increases in costs. Hopefully you're not seeing that, but what type of contingency do you have just in case?
360?
Brian.
What's that? 360?
Yeah, right now the city mission has $360,000 in contingency money in our budget. Mercedes is carrying some contingency money in their budget. I believe it's $148,000. We've got hard numbers back. Our GMP is scheduled to be signed, and the GMP is the guaranteed maximum pricing with Mercedes. That's scheduled to be signed second or third week in May. We're reviewing all subcontractors right now just to make sure everyone has everything bid to the scope.
Good. Well, I have no other questions concerning your match or security of it. Does any of our committee members have any questions? All right, none being heard. The second matter that we wanted to discuss, of course, with your compliance with the recently approved Washington County Comprehensive Plan. For that, I will turn that over to Daryl Price.
Thank you guys for joining us this morning. I have a statement on the county comprehensive plan. Washington County has a plan of emergency housing standards to provide county contracted agencies with a clear set of guidelines and requirements for the operation of emergency housing facilities in Washington County. Our Human Services Department requires extremely high standards of compliance and inclusion. On average, we have approximately 3 to 5 women experiencing homelessness that are using temporary housing in hotels. When a female contacts the Human Services Department requesting housing assistance, we first explore any natural supports that they may have. This would include family and friends who could provide temporary housing. If a housing arrangement cannot be made, the Washington County Family Shelter is contacted, or they can be placed in hotels. At this point, a coordinated entry assessment is completed to place them on a waiting list for permanent housing. The city mission previously operated a shelter plus care program for the county. This program has since given to ARC Human Services due to the city mission's non-compliance with housing first policies of Department of Human Housing and Urban Development.
It wasn't non-compliant.
Okay, are you done, Daryl? Because what you just said about the change to ARC, we can address that first if you were done.
Yes.
Okay, Leah, do you want to address the ARC situation?
We made a decision to decline to reapply for the Shelter Plus Care program. That decision was made by our leadership committee. With the move to coordinated entry, we were concerned about some of the liability to the organization for some of the model. It was not because we were non-compliant. We were compliant with the process. We actually offered additional support and follow-up to every participant in the program for 6 months following, even though we were not asked to do so. Just in good practice, we wanted to ensure that we were providing quality case management as we transitioned those individuals out. So I just want to confirm that that is not exactly accurate as to the situation. We also wanted to identify that we should be focusing primarily on our main mission, which is assisting homeless individuals through our programming here on campus. Also, I want to note that Nicole Masser through Human Services in the homeless department refers individuals to us. Although it may not be noted, she frequently refers individuals, specifically men and women, to us for care.
So can I address a few more issues then that you brought up, Daryl? And I thank you for being so comprehensive about with your statement. If you go to the Housing Homeless Services Plan that Washington County put out, and this was in January of 2023. So if we go to that, we look at the fact that you have statistics here, the homelessness in southwestern Pennsylvania, that includes 7 counties. The data sources are not mentioned as to where you receive those numbers, but you put that we have 139 homeless individuals in Washington County. Now, we know where that number came from because it came from us through a state program, which is called a point in time count. But if you look at the fact that we have 173 beds and you define, Washington County Human Services defines homelessness as individuals staying in shelter, you also define it in this plan as jails as well. So we're looking at a much larger population in total. But this says, I'm sorry?
You stated a point in time count. We recently completed on January 25th a point in count. Areas of the county were canvassed where individuals experience homelessness are known to stay. Fortunately, no houseless women were identified in that point in count on January 25th.
And from what I understand with, Nicole did that, and what she was looking at is people who were not in temporary shelters. That's how she came up with that count. But the female population, you know, we turn away. For the last 6 months, there's been an average of 53 to 65 women who have been turned away from City Mission. We also know through the calls from Blueprints as well, that they don't have the opportunity to help these individuals either. There's not enough funding for them. We have, and this is for rental utility assistance program, 62% of their calls from January 1st of this year to March 15th of this year, 62% of the calls for assistance were women, 452 to be exact. So there's something else to this. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Our human services takes, the call list is 15 men for every female call.
That's not what we see here. That's not what we see here. That's not what we're turning away. And when you look at the fact that if you drive around the neighborhoods, you're not going to see these women because women couch surf. Women stay in domestic violence situations because they have no place to go. Women prostitute themselves to sleep on a couch. So that's what you're not seeing. That's what sending an employee to drive all through the neighborhoods will never pick up on the need. So that's what you cannot see. That's what's hidden from sight. And if you look at the number of individuals that are coming through this program, you see such a great need. And City Mission doesn't just house individuals temporarily. City Mission is an entire approach, which the Human Services Plan for Washington County is also a preventative approach. So they take care of all the needs of an individual. And when they have an individual coming in for services here at the City Mission that stays a minimum of 3 months, their success rate at eliminating homelessness varies between 67 and 69%. So those are the things that you have to consider. This is an entire wraparound program. They don't all call 724-228-1234 for help. That's not getting all the calls. Washington County Human Services does not receive all the calls. City Mission's receiving a great number of the calls, as is Blueprints. And we're working with Blueprints on a number of different programs as well. And this is money that's not everyday tax dollars that the federal, state, and local government provides to put these individuals in hotels. This is money we're receiving from individual donors and churches on an ongoing basis for operations. So the operational dollars you never have to contribute. So that's the really good news about this story.
Just a couple questions as we close up. Will the City Mission accept people on medical assisted treatment?
Go ahead, Leah.
We work with individuals who have received Sublocade injections within their treatment facility. We do not currently have the ability to accept individuals who continue on a substance like Suboxone because of the shelter element of our facility. There's a large liability to the other residents that we serve. We also have several individuals in our facility that identify medically assisted treatment substances as drugs of choice. And because of those risks, at this point in time, the medically assisted treatment options that we work with are Sublocade, as well as other medications that do not have addictive qualities and are not a trigger to our residents. So those are the changes and modifications we do make.
And do you accept people on seizure medications?
Yes, we accept people on seizure medications. We have quite a few individuals.
We recently had someone that we sent to you guys that was denied care because they were told to get off their seizure medicine for 30 days and then you would accept them.
Yeah. That's not a situation that is completely accurate. I believe that you're being given some some misleading information in that situation, as sometimes does happen with clients. We do require that individuals are able to attend to adult daily living tasks. They must be able to shower themselves and get themselves dressed for the day and make sure that they're able to eat. We do have requirements of those things. So if that was a barrier, then that could be a reason that that person was not permitted to be here.
And will
And
the
again,
city,
that's for the client safety.
and will the city mission accept people from the LGBTQ community?
Yeah,
If you don't mind me interjecting, we want to keep our comments to the actual application and questions to the application. I don't think the procedural things that the commission really has anything to do with the application, as it's not stated nor a requirement of the LSA program. So if you can
Thank you so
confine
much.
your questions to the actual
That's
project.
all I have right now.
Good, thank you.
Good summary.
Do you have any other questions or concerns from the committee that they'd like to be heard?
Go ahead, Jamie. Make your
There
recommendation.
are no questions, Jeff. I'd like to make a
I
motion
have a
to
couple
approve.
questions, sorry.
Please, Cameron. Please, Senator. Good morning.
Well, and here's my my challenge was that I wasn't in town for the initial meetings, and Rennick was being very, very good about giving me all of the information. And I've been on the board for many years now, and I don't recall, maybe I'm wrong, but you can enlighten me, but I don't recall there ever being before discussions for any of the other grants that were given out having to fulfill or follow a plan, a strategic plan in Washington County. Am I wrong about that? I don't know that there was any ever discussion about any of these projects, their grant funding being dependent upon following a plan or ticking off specific requirements of a strategic plan. Can you help me out?
Certainly, Senator. Those are in the guidelines for the program. It's also on each application if the project coordinates with the Washington County Comprehensive Plan. The reason being was that we want to ensure that it does not conflict with anything the county may be doing, duplicating services, things of that nature, which now I do not see that here. So I hope that has answered your question.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to sort of highlight that because I don't remember there being really stringent discussions about that in all the other meetings that we've had. Last question. Now I know that Diana was saying that there's all this money on the books right now. Back in October, when the decision was being made, in October, was there a match in the bank? Was there $500,000 in the bank in October?
Yes,
There was.
yes, there was. And it was listed, on a balance sheet that was
Yes,
submitted with
yes.
the grant. And we also said in the grant, the project description that we had already raised $3.7 million for the project.
Okay.
I think, Senator, that was the question that we had as a committee. Is that pledges? Are they counting that on and their accounts?
They are not.
That's what we wanted to clear up. And I have I'm thinking as we move forward, this has no part really discussion, but I think it's important we bring it up today. I would suggest that we as a committee start providing more time for larger projects as this. This is a $500,000 project. We give you 5 minutes in a public hearing to discuss it. Something this sizable or other projects this sizable perhaps need further consideration or a longer time frame for the committee to discuss and hear out. That's something operational on our side that we can discuss, but I think the matter that we're in kind of lends itself to longer discussions with more significant projects. As I'm comfortable with the city mission's answers today, do I hear anything else from our committee members?
There's none. We'll make a motion to approve this.
Okay.
Recommend this for approval.
I'd like to suggest, Jamie, with your motion that as we already met on February 6th and the commissioners already approved the projects, what we're really asking for is for the commissioners to amend their original vote to include the city mission. Is that your motion?
That's correct, Jeff. Yes.
Do I have a
second,
second on that
Jeff.
motion?
I second it, Jeff.
Mayor Mike, roll call. Senator Bartolotta?
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Amy, Katz,
Aye.
Mayor Kuchek,
Aye.
Representative Neal,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Daryl,
Aye.
John Timney,
Aye.
Rachel Warner Welsh,
Aye.
Jeff Kitula, aye. Ayes have it, motion passes. We'll make that a recommendation to the commissioners this morning. I'd like to thank the city mission for being with us this morning and for all of your hard work in our community. And of course, I'd like to thank the LSA committee and all volunteer committee who spends numerous time and effort on these projects. I want to thank you again for all your time and dedication.
Thank
And
you.
Appreciate
we
your
would
time
like
this
to,
morning.
on behalf of City Mission, we would like to express our deepest gratitude for giving us the opportunity to address any questions or concerns that you had. And we so very much appreciate your affirmative recommendation to the Board of Commissioners for the $500,000 funding that we really need for this project. So God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. Take care.
Thank you.
I'm on.